School Board will come to order. Please rise and join us in a prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, a prayer in recognition of Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you, special teacher, for helping me to know the things I need to learn to live my life and grow. I enjoy my class with you because you help me see that to have a happy life, learning is the key. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Holliston?
Here.
Mr. Olsemer?
Here.
Mr. Gershie?
Here.
Mrs. Fiorella?
Here.
Mr. Gadenzi?
Present.
Mr. Lindau?
Here.
Mr. McDonough?
Here.
Mrs. Pliss?
Here.
Mr. Pudenai?
He's excused.
Dr. LeCote?
Here.
Mr. Sheehan?
Here.
Ms. Emmett is here. Dr. Barrett?
Here.
Mrs. Donahue?
Here.
Mrs. Polisky?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
She's excused.
Mr. Gligorski?
Here.
Mrs. Olsemer?
She's also excused.
Mrs. Corelli?
Here.
Mrs. La Rosa?
She's excused.
Mrs. Gregory?
Here.
Mrs. Liptak?
Here.
Mr. President, you have 8 board members present.
Thank you. Do we have-
Excuse me,
Yes.
Mr. President, before we continue with the agenda, do you think that we could offer a moment of silence for the Hollister family? Mr. Hollister lost his brother yesterday.
I appreciate that. Please rise and join me in a moment of silence. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Pliss. We'll go to the agenda. Item 5, do we have a motion for approval?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of April the 13th, 2015, the special meeting for the presentation of the narrative budget for the 2015-16 school year, April the 22nd, 2015.
I'll second the motion.
The motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. President, I'd like to just add for the April 13th meeting, under the first reading adoption of board policy, that I had asked and was denied school police officer to be separated from the rest of the policies.
I recall that.
Can we add that to the minutes, please?
So noted. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstaining? The ayes have it unanimously. Item 6, Treasurer's Report. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the treasurer's reports for the general account, food services account, and the student activities account for January, February, March of 2015.
I'll second.
I have Mr. McDonough seconding this motion. The motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
Any abstaining? The ayes have it by a vote of 7 yes and 1 no. Item 7, do we have a motion, please?
I move that we pay the bills generated by the general account and the food services account.
I'll second it.
The motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
Any abstaining? The ayes have it by a vote of 7 yes and 1 no. At this time, I believe we have student groups for recognition. Mr. Barrett, Dr. Barrett?
Thank you, Mr. President. Today we have several students here with us. I'd like to begin with 2 outstanding seniors. The first is Madelyn Carey. Madelyn is the daughter of Eugene and Christine Carey of Hamlin.
Good evening. My name is Madelyn, and I'd like to begin by thanking the Board of Education, Dr. LeCaux, and Mr. Sheehan for all the opportunities you've given me throughout my high school career. I'd like to thank my teachers and my coaches, especially Greg Butler, my basketball coach, for making the last 4 years unexplainably special for me. I'd also like to thank my parents for always pushing me to do my best and never allowing me to give up on myself. In the last 4 years at Western Wayne, I've challenged myself by taking a number of difficult courses. I've taken a total of 12 honors and AP courses. The most challenging of these courses were honors in AP chemistry as well as AP biology. In addition to these courses, I am currently enrolled in Penn State's dual enrollment program and have maintained a 4.0 GPA the last 2 semesters. I've earned credits for Psychology 100 and English 15, 2 required freshman courses. Dual enrolling has been a great experience for me, and I've gotten a real taste of what is expected at a college level. While at Western Wayne, I've been fortunate enough to be involved in many extracurricular activities. These include Envirothon, the Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science, Future Business Leaders of America, the Technology Student Association, SAD, the National Art Honor Society, the National Honor Society, Varsity Club, and the girls' basketball team. I received awards at both state and regional levels for the Technology Student Association. I also attended the National Youth Leadership Forum of Medicine in Boston, Massachusetts. Outside of school, I am a volunteer at the Wayne Memorial Hospital and a member of their Community Advisory Board. I've also volunteered a number of hours at the Scranton Marathon, Friends of the Poor, Commissioner's Roundball Camp, and Julia Robado's nursing home. I've been a member of St. Thomas More Church for 18 years. Next year, I will be continuing my education at the Pennsylvania State University in State College, Pennsylvania. I'll be majoring in biology and plan on eventually going to med school for anesthesiology, but might change. I look forward to the rest of my senior year at Western Wayne and to my future at Penn State. I will always remember my 4 years of high school here as one of the greatest parts of my life. I wouldn't have wanted to spend them anywhere else. Thank you for your time.
Next, we have Zachery Hall. Zachery is the son of Joseph and Rebecca Hall of Newfoundland.
Hello, my name is Zachery Hall. I would like to thank the Board of Education, Dr. Barrett, and Mr. Grigorski for this recognition. I would also like to thank my parents and family for their continued support, without which I would not have the success that I've had today. I live in Sterling with my parents, Rebecca and Joseph Hall, my twin brother Brandon, and my little brother Gavin. Through my 4 years, I have had amazing teachers and challenging courses. My interest lies in the sciences, and some of the classes I have taken are AP Biology, which I have taken and passed the AP Biology exam, which will be passed on to college. I am currently taking AP Physics, Anatomy and Physiology. I have also taken Honors Biology and Honors Chemistry. I would like to acknowledge Mrs. McClure for being such a positive influence and advocate for me. Some other tough and challenging classes I have had included AP World History, AP US History, Honors World Cultures, Honors Algebra 2, Honors Pre-Calculus, and I am currently taking Calculus, and I serve as a biolab tech for Mrs. McClure, helping other students excel. I have been on this distinguished honor roll since junior high, maintaining a 4.0 GPA throughout. Most recently, I obtained a 99.5 GPA for the third marking period, moving me to the 11th rank. I am a participating member of the National Honor Society and National Art Honor Society, where I'm serving as Activities Coordinator. I have participated in the Pennsylvania Junior Academy Science Competition for 6 years and held the position of Treasurer this year. This year I interviewed along with numerous other students for the PJA Scholarship, which I won the Merriwood Scholarship, totaling $10,000 over 4 years. I will also attend the state conference at Penn State University this year as a technician. I was also a member of Future Business Leaders of America for 2 years. In addition to studying and maintaining my grades, I also hold a part-time job. I completed my senior project and volunteered additional service hours at the Hawley Urgent Care Center, where I learned clinical skills. I was personally responsible for certain medical skills, such as taking patient history and blood pressures. Apart from academics, I have been a member of the Western Wayne Wildcats boys varsity tennis team for 4 years, where I have served as the captain for the past 2 seasons. I currently play first singles. I was named most improved player as a freshman and MVP last season as a junior. Although this season has not concluded, I have learned a game for life and enjoy playing it. My experiences at Western Wayne have helped me make me the well-rounded, successful student that I am. I appreciate every opportunity I have been given and will continue to strive to improve. I will make those family, friends, teachers, and administrators who have helped me and encouraged me proud. After graduation, I plan to attend Marywood University, where I have received a Centennial Scholarship for academics totaling $72,000. I will be a part of the Communication Sciences and Disorders Department, majoring in Speech Language Pathology, a 5-year master's program. In closing, I would like to again thank the Board of Education, my parents, family, friends, teachers, and administrators for believing in me. I would encourage anyone with a dream to work hard, always keep a positive attitude, and never ever give up, even when it seems impossible. Thank you.
Tonight, we also have with us members of FBLA, and Mrs. Lubash is here to do the introduction.
Good evening. The members of the Western Wayne FBLA recently competed at the State Leadership Conference in Hershey. We had 30 members attend, 11 received awards in the top 10 in the state, and 9 are going to continue on to the national level. Some of the students are here tonight. First, we have Adam Curtis, who placed 6th in impromptu speaking. We have Jacob Karnick and Madison Kernudiak, who placed in FBLA Principles and Procedures. Jacob placed 1st, Madison placed 2nd. They both qualify for national competition. Next, we have Introduction to Parliamentary Procedure. Skylar Boots placed 4th. Selena Tragaskis placed 2nd. And we have the members of the Parliamentary Procedure team, Joe Claus, Tim Lashinsky, Caleb Walduck, Elena Legner, and Matt Russo. They placed 1st at the state level, and they also will continue on to the national level. We'll be attending nationals in Chicago at the end of June through the beginning of July.
Well, Zachery and Madelyn, as well as our FBLA students, congratulations. We're certainly proud of what you've done here at Western Wayne and wish you all the best. Congratulations. Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd just like to thank Mrs. Lubash, too, for all her years of service with Ms. Petoskey. And she was out in Seven Springs with us when I was a senior in high school in 2004. So thank you very much for what you do.
Yeah, Ms. Lubash.
Mr. President, we have Mr. Curtis that would like to present to the board.
Good evening. So I'd like to apologize for my appearance, but obviously my peers are hoisting me up a little bit more. But I'm here from the PJS chapter, and Kayla's here representing our FBLA chapter. And on June 6th, we paired up with Wayne County Ford for a fundraiser, which is it's called Drive for Your School. So if you're over 18, you can have at least one person come from your household, and all you have to do is test drive a Ford, whichever model you'd like, and they'll donate $20 to our organizations. So it's a pretty good time. They're gonna, they're going all out for this. There's gonna be a grill going, different beverages and stuff. They're gonna give out shirts and everything, and maybe just go beat up on some cars. I mean. So I'd just like to give each of the board members a sample of what the test drive would look like, and Kayla has some of the promotional flyers. And this is an event that's open to the general public as well, as long as you show up and coordinate with Ford and say, hey, we're here to support Western Wayne. We're going to split the funds.
We can raise up to $6,000.
Yeah, up to $6,000, so it's a substantial amount, and we appreciate it. It's going to help offset the cost of nationals for FBLA and the state cost for PJS. So we'd appreciate it if you could come up and just support us on June 6th at Wayne County Ford.
What is it costing you to go to nationals?
It's about $1,600 a person, depending on the room situation. We have a couple doubles, so it's more for those people, obviously, but
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barrett. At this time, do we have anyone from the audience who would care to address the board? Yes, right here.
Good evening, my name is Erin Shane, and I'm a substitute teacher for the Western Wayne School District. I've been a substitute here for nearly 12 years, and I have 3 children who attend school within the district. My oldest son, Colin, is a senior preparing to graduate in June. My middle son, Brett, is in 6th grade at the middle school, and Ryan, my youngest, is in the 2nd grade at Evergreen. When most people hear the term substitute, it inevitably conjures up images of a class in disarray with some hapless soul at the front while students shoot spitballs or write notes or make paper airplanes or simply sit and watch movies. These views of substitute teaching are unfortunate because they are grossly inaccurate and don't reflect our reality. So what is our reality? It's the 5:30 a.m. phone call with our building and classroom assignment. It's arriving early to familiarize ourselves with building safety procedures and plans. Every day we must check IEPs and 504s to ensure the safety and well-being of every student. We take attendance and lunch count, collect homework, begin or continue designated lessons. We effectively manage classrooms by keeping students engaged in meaningful work. We as substitute teachers accept this enormous responsibility with a level of professionalism equal to that of our full-time counterparts. With that being said, I ask that you, the members of the school board, thoughtfully consider an increase in the substitute teacher per diem rate. The substitutes of our district currently receive $85 per day. This has been the accepted rate for over 10 years. In that same span of time, nearly every other position from coaches to assistant coaches to cafeteria workers have seen some sort of salary increase. One of the most recent being the 9.25% increase that the assistant wrestling coach received at the October 2014 board meeting. To put things into perspective, I would have to work 50 days, full school days, to make what the assistant wrestling coach is making as a part-time job. Pennsylvania is one of a handful of states that require their substitute teachers to have a bachelor's degree in education as well as a valid teaching certificate. We must also maintain our clearances and be in compliance with Act 48 laws, which require 180 hours of professional development or 6 additional college credits every 5 years. Comes out of my pocket. This makes the fact that we fall so far below the national average in terms of substitute pay so disturbing. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics website, the mean hourly wage for a substitute teacher in this country is $14.23 an hour, or roughly $99.61 a day. I am well aware of the financial hardships that our district is facing, and I know that tough decisions are being made every day. I send my kids in with the tissues and the pencils too. But as nearly every candidate running for the spot on the school board mentioned at Thursday night's meeting, was that it's all about the academics. All about the academics. So I'd like to point out one thing. Over the course of a student's kindergarten through 12th grade education, the average student will have spent an entire year with a substitute teacher. For this to occur, a student only has to average 13 days per school year working with a substitute. Between teacher absences for illness, family illness, professional development, and personal leave, 13 days isn't hard to reach. And I know that we are critically low on substitutes. It's not at all uncommon for an entire classroom to split for a day due to the lack of an available substitute teacher. That isn't fair to the students or the teachers, and it disrupts the learning environment for everyone. On those days, it's more like a game of classroom management than academics. Many of our substitutes have either gone on to districts where the per diem rate is higher, or incentives are offered for working a certain number of days. In closing, no matter what your decision regarding a pay increase, please know that we, as substitute teachers, take our job seriously and look forward to work every day, knowing that we have the ability to make a positive difference in the lives of students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do we have anyone else? Yes, in the back.
Hi, my name's Amy Sowers. I have 2 children that go here.
My oldest is a senior and graduating, and my youngest is a sophomore. I, like you, agree academics is very important, but I'm going for something smaller today. My younger one, who is a sophomore, plays tennis on the tennis team. And I reviewed your budget for all the sports and everything else, and I have to admit I was appalled. I have 2 children that were able to go to FBLA, but we couldn't afford one went. Academically, there is no money, very sad. But I'm here asking for a little bit of money for the tennis team. We have very few kids on the tennis team. The last 2 years, it has been so cold that we have not been able to practice in our courts, and we have had to pay out of pocket to go to the hideout to pay. I don't think any other sports have to pay to play, and I don't think it's fair. I mean, we don't use referees, and you guys spend thousands of dollars on referees and coaches, and I just don't think it's unrealistic to ask for a couple $100 for the kids to be able to play somewhere. They practiced 3 weeks and then had to play, right? We don't have a very good team because of it, you know, and it's sort of, if they can't take it seriously, then, you know, I'd hate to have it end because everybody who's there is very eager to play, but it's just not realistic to have, you know, if the kids have to pay to play, then I think there should be a disclaimer that says, if you want to be on the tennis team, you're going to have to pay if it's cold weather to practice to be on the team. Last year, the coach paid out of her pocket the fees for the hideout tennis courts.
Do you know how much those fees are?
This year, it's over $400. I mean, it's not that much.
Well, it is a lot, yeah, when you have to pay.
When you have to pay or the kids have to, you know, we don't get it, you know, it's not like we get balls.
Did the hideout refuse to let you play there if you did not pay?
They give her a bill, and she works it, like she coaches there. And she's
an
still,
instructor there.
yeah, and they're charging her. Now, other teams play at Cove Haven, other teams have inside tennis courts, but
I'll say this and probably get myself in trouble for it, but I think they could volunteer.
they should be ashamed. I agree, but they've been asked and she's gotten a bill, but this year it's up to, you know. And like I said, they practice, there's snow on the court. And then they go to games and they try their hardest. And the kids all love it, but.
Would you put that information together with the coach and present it to the athletic director in order that the board can see just what the picture is?
Okay.
And let's see just what's involved there.
Okay.
Again, let's get all the information together on paper and then we'll make a decision. That's a very good point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any others? Hearing none, item 10 is provided for your information.